Good morning, Colts. It's Mrs. Hladun. It's Friday. It's Colt Spirit Day. I've got on my Colt shirt and my yellow sweater and my little horseshoe necklace that was given to me by one of our students, and I love it. I've also got on my little, can you see that? Oh, where is it? My little bracelet that was made for me by another student. So I'm rocking out my Colt pride. Anyways, I'm sitting out in front of the school waiting for some parents to come by to pick up stuff. And I thought that we would read a little more of Frog and Toad together. I'm going to read a couple more stories, and I'm going to attempt to, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to, I don't know how this is going to work. I was going to try to show it to you, but I think I've messed that up. All right, I'm just going to read. Here we go. This chapter is called Cookies. Toad baked some cookies. These cookies smell very good, said Toad. He ate one. And they taste even better, he said. Toad ran to Frog's house. Frog, Frog, cried Toad. Taste these cookies that I've made. Frog ate one of the cookies. These are the best cookies I've ever eaten, said Frog. Check it out. Are you doing any baking at home? It's a great way to practice the math. Frog and Toad ate many cookies, one after another. You know, Toad, said Frog with his mouth full, I think we should stop eating. We will soon be sick. You are right, said Toad. Let us eat one last cookie, and then we will stop. Frog and Toad ate one last cookie. There were many cookies left in the bowl. Frog, said Toad, let us eat one very last cookie, and then we will stop. Frog and Toad ate one very last cookie. Look at them. We must stop eating, cried Toad as he ate another. Yes, said Frog, reaching for a cookie. We will need power, or willpower. What is willpower? Asked Toad. Willpower is trying hard not to do something that you really want to do, said Frog. You mean like trying not to eat all those cookies? Asked Toad. Right, said Frog. So that's Frog. And that's Toad, talking about willpower. It requires a lot of willpower right now to stay home, I know. Frog put the cookies in a box. There, he said, now we will not eat any more cookies. But we can open the box, said Toad. That is true, said Frog. Frog tied some string around the box. There, he said, now we will not eat any more cookies. But we can cut the string and open the box, said Toad. That is true, said Frog. I think they really want to eat all those cookies. All right, let's see what happens next. Frog got a ladder. He put the box on a high shelf. There, said Frog, now we will not eat any more cookies. But we can climb the ladder and take the box down from the shelf and cut the string and open the box, said Toad. That is true, said Frog. Frog climbed the ladder and took the box down from the shelf. He cut the string and opened the box. What? Okay, there they are on the ladder. Frog took the box outside. He shouted in a loud voice, Hey, birds, here are cookies. Birds came from everywhere. They picked up all the cookies in their beaks and flew away. Now we have no more cookies to eat, said Toad sadly, not even one. Yes, said Frog, but we have lots and lots of willpower. You may keep it all, Frog, said Toad. I'm going to go home now and bake a cake. Okay, there's all the birds. Oh, there's all the birds coming. And there's all the birds eating the cookies. Can you see that? Sorry, I'm having a hard time today. There they go. There's all the birds. All right. The end. All right, next chapter. You ready? I don't know. I'm going to keep going. Here we go. This chapter is called Dragons and Giants. Frog and Toad were reading a book together. The people in this book are brave, said Toad. They fight dragons and giants, and they are never afraid. I wonder if we are brave, said Frog. Frog and Toad looked into a mirror. We look brave, said Frog. But are we? Asked Toad. Okay, here they are looking in the mirror. Frog and Toad went outside. We can try to climb this mountain, said Frog. That should tell us if we are brave. Frog went leaping over rocks, and Toad came puffing up behind him. They came to a dark cave. A big snake came out of the cave. "Hello, lunch," said the snake when he saw Frog and Toad. He opened his wide mouth. Frog and Toad jumped away. Toad was shaking. "I am not afraid," he cried. Okay, there they go up the mountain. And then this is the crazy snake. Hold on. Here's the crazy snake. Can you see it? All right. And they climbed higher. They heard a loud noise. Many large stones were rolling down the mountain. "It's an avalanche," cried Toad. Frog and Toad jumped away. Frog was trembling. "I am not afraid," he shouted. It's very brave. There's the rocks tumbling. And there's Frog and Toad running away. I think I might be afraid if a bunch of rocks were coming at me. They came to the top of the mountain. The shadow of a hawk fell over them. Frog and Toad jumped under a rock, and the hawk flew away. "We are not afraid," screamed Frog and Toad at the same time. Then they ran down the mountain very fast. They ran past the place where they saw the avalanche. They ran past the place where they saw the snake. They ran all the way to Toad's house. Right, here's the hawk. It looks like the hawk almost got them, huh? And here they are running home. "Frog, I am glad to have a brave friend like you," said Toad. He jumped onto the bed and pulled the covers over his head. "And I am happy to know a brave person like you, Toad," said Frog. He jumped into the closet and shut the door. Toad stayed in the bed and Frog stayed in the closet. They stayed there for a long time, just feeling very brave together. I love the pictures in this book. And that's the end of it. Hey, you guys, there's one more story in this book. Should we read it? Do you think so? Okay, let's do it. Ready? This one's called The Dream. Toad was asleep and he was having a dream. He was on a stage and he was wearing a costume. Toad looked out into the dark. Frog was sitting in the theater. A strange voice from far away said, "Presenting the greatest toad in all the world." Here's the picture. I like Toad's costume. Toad took a deep bow. Frog looked smaller as he shouted, "Hooray for Toad! Toad will now play the piano very well," said the strange voice. Toad played the piano and he did not miss a note. "Frog," cried Toad, "can you play the piano like this?" "No," said Frog. It seemed to Toad that Frog looked even smaller. All right, here he is playing the piano. So that's Toad. And then there's Frog in the audience watching Toad. "Toad will now walk on a high wire and he will not fall down," said the voice. Toad walked on the high wire. "Frog," cried Toad, "can you do tricks like this?" "No," peeped Frog. "Oh, did you hear the bell ring?" "No," peeped Frog, who looked very, very small. Okay, here's Toad on the high wire, still wearing that cool costume. And then here's Frog in the audience, looking smaller and smaller. "Toad will now dance, and he will be wonderful," said the voice. "Frog, can you be as wonderful as this?" said Toad as he danced all over the stage. There was no answer. Toad looked out into the theater. Frog was so small he could not be seen or heard. "Frog," said Toad, "where are you?" There was still no answer. "Frog, what have I done?" cried Toad. Okay, here's Toad dancing. And there he is looking for his friend. Then the voice said, "The greatest Toad will now—" "Shut up!" screamed Toad. "Frog, Frog, where have you gone?" Toad was spinning in the dark. "Come back, Frog," he shouted. "I will be so lonely." Well, that's nice that he misses his friend, huh? I'll bet you guys miss seeing your friends too, huh? I'm right here, said Frog. Frog was standing near Toad's bed. Wake up, Toad, he said. Frog, is that really you? Said Toad. Of course it's me, said Frog. And are you your own right size? Asked Toad. Yes, I think so, said Frog. Toad looked at the sunshine coming through the window. Frog, he said, I'm so glad that you came over. I always do, said Frog. All right. There's Toad hopping out of his bed in his jammies. And there's Frog hanging out by the door, or the window, I guess. Then Frog and Toad ate a big breakfast, and after that, they spent a fine, long day together. Oh, that's sweet. Here, check it out. There we go. It's always good to have friends. Hey, Colts, I know that you can't hang out with your friends outside right now as much as normal, but you can always send text messages to them, or maybe chat with them on a video game or something, or maybe do some FaceTime. Make sure you stay connected to the people you care about, all right? I'll see you later, Colts. Have a great day. Bye.